My name is Bergwerf, and I owned property on Isle of Palms for 12 years, moved here full-time when my husband and I retired just about 7 years ago. We retired from Chicago. My husband's an engineer. He's retired, but now he's teaching at the Citadel. And I retired from having my own business, a stained glass studio, for nearly 25 years. And for another 17 years, I was a photojournalist in Chicago. I don't know if it's a badge of courage or what, but I was the first female photographer hired by the Chicago Tribune. I'm running for City Council. Actually, I'm running for re-election. I was elected in May, and now, because it was an interim term, I have to run again in November. So I have the delight of having to run twice for political office in less than 6 months. My qualification for the office is just being a citizen of this island. I have a degree in government, but of course that's not the practical nuts and bolts of a small community. I experienced a lot of small town politics when I worked as a photojournalist, because I would cover cities and counties and all sorts of government things. But I think the biggest qualification anyone has around here is caring about the community. We're on a barrier island here. Obviously the huge issue is to maintain that barrier island. It's an ecosystem that's in danger of development. I'm on the island turtle team, and we're trying to protect the loggerhead turtles here that have nested here for thousands of years. And big rentals, encroachment on the beach, trash, everything impacts our environment. And it's probably the biggest challenge we have. If we lose our marsh and our beach, no one's going to want to live here. And our houses aren't going to be worth the money that costs to build them. So it's to our advantage to do our best to do everything to protect the environment. When I went around campaigning this last May, and you try to get an idea from the people what the issues are. And one of them is day trippers, that they're concerned that people are coming, they're not parking in the city lots, they're not parking where there are public bathrooms, they're parking in the neighborhoods. And then, the mind reels thinking what hundreds, thousands of people are doing on this island for 6 or 8 hours when they're not by any kind of facilities. It's sort of indelicate, but it's the reality of living on a barrier island. And then mini hotels. It's a hot button phrase, and I define it as a building that's built as a rental hotel. It's never built to be a single family residence. It's 8 or 10 bedrooms, and no one wants to spend their life savings on their dream home and then realize the house next door is being torn down and a mini hotel is being put up next to them. So those are the big issues. That's when people talk to you, that's what they want to talk about. People in Wild Dunes have their own traffic issues. They have a new development there called the Village, which is only half done, and I have yet to talk to anyone living in Wild Dunes that's pleased with it, because it's 86 units, so you can guess easily 160, 170 extra cars. So these are problems that we're going to have to deal with. Here we have the opportunity. We're a small community. We can affect our future. We can have an influence on what's going on, but we can't if we don't get out and vote. It's a small island. You only live a couple miles from the poles. It's a beautiful climate. You don't have to worry about going through the snow, so there's no excuse. I want to see everyone out to vote. It's your future. It's the future of the island, and we're at a tipping point. Once the economy comes around again, this island is going to be as attractive as it was before, and people are going to be rushing here because it's a beautiful place to live. We have to set up some standards, some rules, some goals for our city that we can make this a great place to live. The election is November 3rd, and it's a very important election for the town. I think in the next few years there are going to be changes made that are going to affect the next 10 and 20 years. I'd like to be part of that. I'd like to have your vote. I can just promise you that I'll spend all the time necessary and get involved with anyone who wants to talk to me about an issue. I'd love to hear from them.